A very warm welcome to Money9's Weekend Special Company Nama, where we scan through the week's major updates of the corporate and startup world for you and also give you a roundup of all the major controversies around corporates. I'm Shrestha Tiwari. Let's take a look at the corporate world first. The multi-billion-dollar Adani Group on 18th October announced that it is all set to acquire Airworks, one of India's biggest and highly diversified aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul companies. As part of its growing defense portfolio, the Adani Group-backed company will acquire Airworks at an enterprise value of 400 crore rupees. The announcement was intimated by Adani Enterprises in its exchange filing. In more news, the Adani Group will also invest about 10,000 crore rupees in the Ahmedabad airport between 2023 and 2027 to augment its passenger handling capacity by 3 times, making it a regional hub. According to the group's investors, its annual passenger handling capacity will be increased from 9 million currently to 28 million in 2027. The Board of Directors of Nestle India declared the second interim dividend for 2022 of 120 rupees per equity share amounting to 1,157 crore rupees, which will be paid and on from 16th November 2022. Nestle has set November 1st, 2022 as the record date for finalizing the shareholders eligible for credit of dividend. Post this announcement on 19th October, Nestle's shares rose more than 2% to close at 19,800 rupees per share. According to a media report, the UK government is unlikely to provide a £1.5 billion subsidy package to Tata Sons for the anticipated switch to green energy. As a result, Tata Sons may exit Tata Steel's UK operations. Tata Sons has said that the funding is needed to replace the carbon-intensive blast furnaces with electric arc furnaces over the next few years to keep the plant operational. Now, according to reports, Tata Sons doesn't see much use in waiting for assistance from the UK government, and that is why it is looking at various exit options. The Tata Group, which has a significant business presence in the UK for several years now, has been vocal about the need for support from the government to be viable. Amid strong rumors for a long time, Singapore Airlines, which has recently confirmed that it is in confidential discussions with the Tata Group to explore a possible merger of Vistara and Air India. Singapore Airlines holds a 49% stake in the full-service carrier Vistara. Tata Group owns 51% stake in Vistara and is also the owner of Air India and Air India Express. After taking over Air India from the Government of India earlier this year, the salt-to-steel conglomerate is said to be working to increase synergy between its different airlines. According to a TRAI report released on 18th October, private telecom operator Reliance Jio toppled the state-run BSNL in August to become the largest fixed-line service provider in the country. This is the first time since the beginning of telecom services in the country that a private operator has gained the numero uno position in the wireline segment. BSNL has been providing wireline services since the last 22 years and its earlier avatar as Department of Telecom Operations, whereas Jio launched its wireline offering only 3 years ago. According to TRAI's subscriber report for August, Jio's wireline subscriber base reached 73.52 lakh, while that of BSNL was at 71.32 lakh. Next up, let's find out which were those companies that were surrounded by controversies and on the radar this week. The Competition Commission of India on 19th October slapped penalties of more than 392 crore rupees on online travel firms MakeMyTrip, GoIbibo and hospitality services provider Oyo for unfair business practices. The regulator slapped a fine of 223.48 crore rupees on MakeMyTrip, GoIbibo and 168.88 crore rupees on Oyo. CCI has directed MMT Go to modify its agreements with hotels and hotel chains. It was also alleged that MakeMyTrip gave preferential treatment to Oyo on its platform, further leading to a denial of market access to other players. The National Company Law Tribunal has for the third time extended the deadline for debt-ridden Reliance Capital resolution process to January 31st. The earlier deadline was November 1st, 2022. This is the third extension as the timeline has been extended twice in the past this year. As per the IBC rules, the administrator had to originally close the resolution of RCL within 180 days. Earlier, the lenders of Reliance Capital had given an extension of 30 days to the bidders who were not happy with this extension, as most of them had sought for an extension by 2 to 4 months. Kirloskar Brothers Limited on 16th of October refuted allegations that it had spent 274 crore rupees towards the payment of professional legal expenses and consultancy charges in the personal dispute of its chairman and MD Sanjay Kirloskar against his brothers Rahul and Atul. In a virtual press conference on 15th of October, Rahul and Atul Kirloskar had said that the Securities Appellate Tribunal has set aside the insider trading order passed against them by SEBI in October 2020. The Supreme Court on 13th of October set aside the Gujarat High Court order which permitted Adani Ports SEZ to reportedly take over 34 acres adjacent to the latter's Mundra port, which state-run Central Warehousing Corporation claimed to be its land. The matter has been sent back to the High Court for a fresh decision. The Apex Court also asked the union government to evolve a mechanism so that its departments don't take a different stand before the court. CWC had earlier moved the Apex Court, saying that Adani Ports had made misrepresentations to the authorities to take away its 34 acres allegedly adjacent to the latter's Mundra port in Gujarat. So those were the week's big corporate world updates. Let's get rolling with what took place in the startup world this week. Fitness startup Cult Fit is aiming for an initial public offering in 12 to 18 months as its core gym business has turned into an operating profit. According to media reports, Cult Fit's business head Naresh Krishnaswamy has also revealed that Cult Fit's revenue has also grown more than 50% compared to pre-COVID-19 levels. With Tata Digital and Zomato as its investors, Cult Fit's operating revenue was around 161 crore rupees in FY21. Tiger Global-backed edtech unicorn Vedantu has acquired a majority stake in education chain Diksha at a deal size of $40 million. Through this partnership, Vedantu, which opened its first hybrid learning center in Muzaffarpur earlier this year, would strengthen its offline presence, especially in Tier 3 and Tier 4 towns. Diksha is a 22-year-old test preparation platform in Karnataka for board and competitive exams, coaching for students between grade 9th and 12th. With this strategic investment, Diksha will bring in close to 13,000 students to Vedantu's platform. In addition to this, Diksha will leverage Vedantu's already existing strong credentials in live classes, educational technology, and pedagogical content. And now for some heartwarming news. This festive season, online grocery delivery organization Blinkit has launched its first silent store in Lakshmi Nagar area of the national capital. But what is a silent store? Now, this store is operated by 20 specially abled individuals who are unable to hear and speak. The organization has opened this first of its kind store to open greater avenues for employment of the specially abled community. Albinder Dhinsa, the co-founder and CEO of Blinkit, had shared this information about this silent store on his official Twitter account on October 17th. And with that, it's a wrap on this week's Company Nama. But before we come back with another round of corporate and startup updates next week, make sure you catch all the Diwali special shows on Money9 all through this week. For that, you will have to download Money9's app from your Google Play Store and App Store. Keep watching Money9, and here's wishing all Money9 viewers a very happy and safe Diwali.